Hello everyone, this is Thingy from the Sanctum of the Soul, and today I've got with me this exciting deck called the Chakra Wisdom Tarot, and this is by Tori Hartzman. You will probably have heard of her from her wildly popular Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Um, so I was a bit surprised that this deck didn't quite get the same attention as her Oracle deck. Um, I personally was not a fan of the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, so I never really got around to getting it. But I saw this deck online and I fell in love with it immediately, and I just had to have it. So here we are. Let me just move the crystals aside. Right, so let's begin. First of all, this is a proper tarot with 78 cards and an illustrated guidebook. And this is by Watkins, my very first Watkins deck, I believe. Um, yeah, that's about it. And that's, of course, the Oracle. So you can see that the cards are very beautiful. You've got all 7 chakra colors. Yeah. So I have taken the liberty, because I remembered this time, to remove the shrink wrap from the deck. I sometimes forget and end up having to struggle with it on camera, which is really not great. So thank goodness I remembered this time. So yeah, let's see what this does. How do you... Oh. Oh. Okay. So it's a drawer. Box is pretty sturdy, not as sturdy as I would have liked, but it will do. Yeah. So this is really interesting. Oh, let's see this part. Okay, so it's not glued on, so I was a bit worried. The moment I saw that it was made for pulling the drawer out, that if it was glued it might fall off. Okay, here we go. Oh no, not shrink wrap. Thank goodness. I'm just going to put that here. The guidebook is beautiful, and oh my goodness. Okay, so the guidebook is very beautiful. You've got the full page for with the cards, full colored, very beautiful. What was that? Right. So that's the major arcana, and oh my goodness. So yeah, it seems like the minors are going to be half a page each. But it does seem like we've got a nice summary title of the card. And you've got the description of the lady in the card, and then you've got your chakra message, the indication, the keywords, the reverse, the meditation, and the contemplation. So that is great. Everything you need, really, if at all. But I am very excited to look at the cards themselves. You can see that it's not quite as snug as it could be, so there is going to be a bit of a rattle, which is a shame. I like a fit, a snug fit, so that the cards don't move too much when I'm transporting them. Card backs are absolutely gorgeous. My goodness, look at that. Some minor damage, probably from the rattling, which is exactly why I don't like that. There's that thing over there, so I just might stuff something in the corners just to prevent it from moving around too much. And let's ease this thing off. Oh, here we go. So you can see the chakra colors from the side. Very faint, very faint. So you may have noticed that the first card is the Ace of Cups, and you will be right to wonder about that. It is because this deck comes by default arranged in chakra order rather than in the traditional order by number. So that is why it starts from the Ace of Cups, and you can see how beautiful that is. Huh. Okay. So it is pretty hefty. So let's see. Cut stock wise, pretty good, pretty good. Quite sturdy, quite thick, and it is of course this weird semi-glossy color. You can see how detailed the cards are. Just look at how much detail went into it. And I'm not usually a fan of borders, but the borders are necessary in this case because they indicate the chakra. So I'm okay with that. It's one of the few decks that I'm okay with having a border. And you can see that all the aces are in the root chakra. In fact, this is going to be a common theme. The aces, so it is very numerological. So you're going to have, for example, the 8s will all be the root chakra as well. So that's very interesting. Let's just look at the cards themselves. Ace of Coins, Ace of Wands. Ah, so beautiful. So this is one of those hyper realistic faces. I've always wondered if these were the products of really good digital, drawings, or if they were actual photos that got digitized. I'm not sure. But it does look like an actual person. The proportions, the face, everything just looks so realistic. That I do suspect that it is a photo, which of course doesn't diminish the card's impact or the artistry, because if this was a photo, it was an amazingly planned photo. So kudos to the artist either way. And you've got the Ace of Swords. So one very interesting thing that I noticed is that the aces all have people in them. In majority of the decks that I've come across, the aces are generally just the symbols of the suits. So that is very refreshing, and I appreciate the effort. And you've got the 8s, 8 of Cups, 8 of Coins. Oh wow, it's so magical. 8 of Wands, very magical cards. 8 of Swords. And the major arcana, we've got the Fool, very apt. She is of course at the roots of the tarot. And look at that, all the roots. The Chariot, look at that. And we've got Temperance. Oh man. So this does look like basically it's 7 cards apart. So if it's 0, it's 7, and then it's 14. So let's see if the sacral chakra are the same. So we've got 2 of Cups. Such a beautiful card. Generally a symbol of lovers. 2 of Coins. So beautiful. 2 of Wands. Oh man. Two of Swords. Nine of Cups. Look at the amount of details that. Oh wow, Nine of Coins. Look at the amount of details that went into the cards. Nine of Wands. These were not easy to make. The artist definitely had to spend hours on every single card. It's just so well done. I'm so impressed. Nine of Swords. The Magician. Very impressive. Look at that. And Strength. Oh wow. And the Devil. Very beautiful. In fact, I think I'm going to take a few photos of some of the cards, just for a friend, because I know that he will appreciate these cards in particular. Right, apologies for that slight delay. Next we've got the solar plexus. I've got Three of Cups, very charmed kind of feeling. Three of Coins. Three of Wands, so beautiful. Three of Swords, oh wow, just look at that. So beautiful. And the colors are just so vibrant, they're so rich, and it just fits with the entire color scheme so well. I just love it so much. We've got the tens, 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins. Look at the details. Oh my goodness. 10 of Wands. I love how the dress is almost ethereal. It's so wispy and smoky. 10 of Swords. Oh. So I like that, even though it's such a, kind of fairy-like ethereal deck, the artist does not shy away from the blood and the trauma of this card. It does not shy away from, the brutal truth of the card, which I really appreciate. The High Priestess. It's so interesting. It's like someone's drawing a portrait of the High Priestess. And we've got the Hermit. Oh wow. And the Tower. So this is an interesting interpretation of the Tower. We've got the Devil dropping instead, and she looks like she's doing fine. She's just floating away from danger. I don't really see that in a lot of Tower cards. It's usually, catastrophic and everyone's just dying or plunging to their deaths. So this is an interesting take on the Tower card. It's like, it's not all bad, which I appreciate. And we've got the Heart Chakra. That's the Four of Coins. The Four of Cups. Four of Wands. Look at how beautiful this is. The Four of Swords. The Princess of Coins. Wow. Princess of Cups. Slightly underwhelming of the grandeur of that card. Princess of Wands. Oh, damn. Princess of Swords. And of course, that's the cover card. Ah, so beautiful. The Empress. look at that. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, I love this one. I just love this one. And the Star. So the Star is a bit underwhelming after all the other majors. So not going to lie about it. It is not very impressive. Hang on, let me just take a photo. Oh, sorry about that. Right, and moving on to the Visuddha, throat chakra. Oh, that's very apt. So it seems like my cards, the heart chakra cards, have found my pranite. Very, very apt. Okay. And that's, of course, the throat chakra. We've got 5 of cups, 5 of coins, 5 of wands, 5 of swords. Very interesting. Is that Jack Frost? So one thing that I've noticed is this is again a primarily female deck. It's very feminine. Most of the cards are about women. So we've got a female, hermit even, and we've got females in every single card. And once in a while we get male cards, but very few of them. So again, it seems to be the trend of a lot of new age stuff. So it's not just decks, it's everything. Which is a shame, to be honest. If I'm being very honest, it is a bit of a shame. But it's okay. Individual artists, I feel like I don't want to, put that kind of responsibility on individual artists about how they do their art, and I don't really want to be prescriptive about it. So, in a way, I agree that it's not the responsibility of individual artists to deal with the balance in the community at large. But at the same time, I would appreciate it if more artists were aware of this and stopped perpetuating the whole, divine feminine kind of spirituality that's so popular right now. And I am saying this as someone who works almost exclusively with the divine feminine, um, in terms of energy. And yes, so the divine, when you talk about spirituality, balance is so important, which is why I don't identify as a light worker. I don't identify as, a dark worker or whatever you call them. I am always in search of that balance. I always work for the balance. And I think that's so important. I think if we wanted to better the world, balance is the way to do it. It's not all lovey-dovey and love and light, but at the same time, I'm not saying, go out and harm people, but just strike that balance. So in our minds, we can disagree with someone's actions, but just know in our minds, in the energy, that balance is important. That balance will happen whether we like it or not. We can delay it, we can do our own personal imbalances, but the energy of the world, of the universe, of creation will always be in balance. So that balance may not look like a good thing to our very limited 3D perspective, but it is there nonetheless. And I feel like if we worked with that it would create so much more harmony within ourselves, within society, within everyone, and all would be so much better. But I digress again. Knight of Cups. So some cards just look a lot more plain than others. You look at these two. This one has so much details in them, and this one's just like meh. So, see, we've got so much details in these two. You've got all the textures, the flowers, you've got the sun or the moon or something, and what's interesting is cups. One seems to have a lot of water imagery. It's traditionally a fire element suit, but I think we can forgo on the elements for now and just focus on the chakras. If we wanted to read with the elements, I would suggest using another deck. That is more clear in that sense, because this is a chakra reading deck, and I think we should let it fulfill its niche as that. I really do love this card. It's so beautiful. So, I am very convinced that these used to be photos now, because you can see that the edges around my goodness, the edges around the face and the helmet, they look a bit off, like a bit superimposed. So I do believe these were photos. Yeah, let me just get a better look at it. Yeah, I do believe so now, more than ever. Not that it's important, I was just curious. Knight of Swords. Very King Arthur, like an Arthurian kind of knight. The Emperor. Very interesting that the Emperor is blue. We see him as red so much, this fiery figure. And here he is in blue, so beautiful. Justice, again, very beautiful. You got the orchids in the background, the tree, oh, so beautiful. And we've got the moon, very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Right, now for the Ashna, the indigo chakra of the third eye. We've got the sixes. Six of coins. Six of wands. Oh, this is lovely. Six of swords. Very traditional, but such a beautiful take on it nonetheless. Queen of cups. Queen of coins. Very, very beautiful. Queen of wands. Oh, I'm so glad that all the queens look so perfect. Queen of swords, kind of like an ice queen. Still very beautiful. And the elephant. Oh wow. Look at the amount of details that went into it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is so beautiful. And look at how 3D it looks, like it's popping up off the card. Wow. Okay. So what I was doing was taking photos of certain cards that I really like, and I think it's easier to just remember which cards I was talking about. The Hanged Woman, this is exactly what I was talking about in terms of, woman washing, female washing, everything spiritual. It just, if we wanted balance, if we wanted proper balance, and we would encourage more men to partake in the spiritual. Um, we see so much railing about toxic masculinity and all that, and I would love for society to be more supportive of the spiritual side of men, the spiritual side of masculinity, instead of simply pointing out, you know, extreme examples of bad behavior in men, because we see bad behavior in everyone. It's not really a gendered thing, but for women, there is a lot of support. Even in the spiritual, we see all these. These are very affirmative for women. I have come across lots of divine feminine classes that are exclusively for women. Um, yoga classes that are exclusively for women, and it just excludes half of the world, and I really can't get behind it. As mentioned, I am all about the balance, and I feel like if we really wanted, a more harmonious society, then we would try our best to strive for that balance. Um, Recently, there's been so much talk of representation and all that, and I feel like um, we kind of need to look at the bigger picture um, at this point. So, yeah, like, I want more representation of men in decks. It's the same way that people want representation of a certain race in decks or things like that. Like, I'm Asian, so it would always be nice to see an Asian represented in decks. But just see, race is, literally skin deep. It's literally a superficial kind of um, genetic expression. And some of it's not really even genetic. We're, basically the same, this no matter what race you are. But when it comes to okay, it's genetic. I'm not thinking straight right now. But when it comes to men and women, there's literally a chromosome that's different. So the energy is literally different. Physiologically, biologically, it is. Men and women are different. So I feel like that representation is way more important than race. I'm sorry if that opinion offends anyone, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but that is my opinion. Um, then yeah, I'll just move on before I go on. I could go on all day. The sun, see, it's a female again. So both the moon and the sun are female. Basically, every single card in the major arcana has been female so far, apart from the Emperor and the Hierophant, and even the Hierophant has a woman on the card. So it's such a big lean towards femininity, and it's just, I don't know, I just can't get behind it. Like, it's nothing to do with the energy of the deck. I'm sure I will work with this deck perfectly, but whatever. I'm just going to stop talking about it. Here we've got the crown chakra, seven of cups, seven of coins. The artist really loves her orchids. 7 of wands, it's so beautiful. 7 of swords, king of cups, king of coins. Oh, that is so beautiful. King of wands and the king of swords. So if you'll notice that swords are always very icy, very plain in this deck, which I kind of like. I don't really need every single card to be ornate and bursting with detail. The lovers, oh, that's such a nice way of putting it. Death, judgment, Ah, so this is the last card in the deck, and it's the world. So the reason it's like this is because it has every single chakra in it, which I thought was a lovely way to end the deck. The world, it's so beautiful. Ah, right. So I suppose this is supposed to look like the world tree, um, like this tree in the background. Probably, possibly. So let me just snap a few photos of the kings. I think those are quite. There we go. Okay, so let's do a little shuffle, and uh, as usual, I will do a small reading for myself. Oh, looks so good. Let me just look at it one more time before shuffling it. Ah, it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. I should take a photo of this. Oh, look at that. Right, and with that, we are going to shuffle. I hope the deck still looks amazing when shuffled, and let's see if that's true. I think that for this deck, I'm going to do a more thorough kind of shuffling. Randomizing. So for now, I guess, I'm just not going to work with reversed because I feel like card readings, it's not really that necessary to do reversed readings. Cards are a bit bent, as you can see, for some reason. Not sure why. So what I'm doing is trying to be random. Man. I say random, but I am always listening to what each card wants, and doing it intuitively. So, if anyone wants to do this, I recommend it, especially when you're reading for a client. You might want the client to do this on their own. Also gives you a chance to touch every single card. The cards look so beautiful, I can't even. It's so exciting to see a deck that's so beautiful, so detailed. I think I'm just so used to cards with fluffy details, fluffy designs, fluffy artwork, that it's such a treat to just see a deck that's so much work put into it. Like, this deck could be an indie deck, and I would still get it because of just how unique it is, how beautiful it is, and yep, quite well shuffled. I will miss the proper arrangements. Those were so lovely. I might just arrange it back, just look at it. Okay, so I am going to have an encounter tomorrow, so let's see what it brings. Okay. trying to figure out the energy. It's niggling away. Like, is that the one I want? Okay, it's definitely in this pile. There we go. Ah. Okay, that explains. We've got the entire chakra system out here. Okay. Let's see. Not quite in order. So we've got Death, Knight of Wands, Six of Wands, Princess of Cups, Three of Cups, Two of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. So we just arrange it in a way that will fit into the frame. So we've got quite a small table, and I haven't got a tripod, so this camera is literally balanced on the stack of decks. So here we go. Okay. Ta-da! Okay. So, because I haven't really done this before in terms of chakras, I'm just going to look at the guidebook. And does the guidebook go by order? Yes, it does. Thank goodness. So we've got Death. The fool steps out of her cocoon. Very, very apt. I haven't done anything like that what I'm doing to do tomorrow, so that's very apt. No need to leave. Live in the heaviness that lack of certainty brings. Completion. Done with the shadow journey. Recognizing the unwise decisions we've made, and as soon as possible walking away from them. Right. Manifesting is as natural as breath. Okay, so that's a hopeful first card. I've got Knight of Wands. How on earth do I find the Knight of Wands in here? There we go. Knight of Wands, the card of daring change. Very apt again. Clear intention and right. Okay, so be very clear tomorrow, and I guess that's the throat chakra. So being guided by intuition to properly express myself, to inwardly and outwardly. Very good advice. Six of Wands. That's there we go. Six of Cups, Six of Coins, Six of Wands. The card of celebrating your heritage. Celebrate where she came from. Adaptability, victory, success, headway, fulfillment, praise. You're more than a moment, you're all that has come before. Okay. So to be very clear with not with inner vision, I guess, in a way. So we kind of always associate the third eye with clear vision outward. I think this card, it's more about the inward seeing of my own energy, and building on the message from the previous two cards, I believe it's saying be careful to properly express yourself, and yeah, okay, very good advice. And next one, Princess of Cups. Oh, I flipped and it was there. The card of self-forgiveness. You are awakened, an offer is made. The true desire may have been dormant, but now is the time to recognize that what is coming will reawaken your desires. Okay, so this is what the heart wants, and so I guess the inward vision is going to show me what the heart really wants, and this is coming along to quite nicely in terms of a reading. And the next one would be here. Three of Cups, the card of celebrated collaboration. Very nice card. Considering what the encounter is going to be. Be guided by your own instinctual thoughts, regardless of outside opinions. Face your fear and celebrate your accomplishments. What others see may not be what you feel. Okay, so be careful not to be influenced. Be confident about what I will say tomorrow, what I will express tomorrow, but do not be swayed by, perhaps comments from the other party or parties. Okay, very good advice so far. Two of Wands. The card of a magical manifesting. So this is the third manifesting card so far. And we've had, when we demand magic of the universe without a commitment to its manifesting, our energy will go elsewhere, often to distractions that dissipate our intentions. Very, very, very true. There is an unspoken agreement with the universe that we will use our energy wisely. Holding the energy of possibility and vision is only possible through emotional maturity. Okay, so don't get riled up, be confident, be steady. Oh my goodness. And yeah, basically face whatever comes with calm and confidence, and with this strong sense of self. Manifest yourself, manifest the external. So the very last card, the Eight of Cups, and that's the root chakra. The card of a new reality. Right, so there is a deliriously intoxicating energy that surfaces when one has created their dream. Even if you loved it, the striving is finished. You have created something from this first cup. Enjoy what you have created before starting again. You have reached a conclusion and may not yet have imagined anything beyond it. That is very true. It is okay to enjoy what you have accomplished by seeking spiritual solace. So, it does seem like there is a lot of manifesting going on, a lot of manifestation cards, which is very interesting. Not at all what I expected, but what was the most unexpected was the full chakra spread. They expect the deck to react so well, to read so well. I might have a little bit of problem familiarizing myself totally with all the chakra meanings, and I guess that's one of the lessons that I have to learn. It's always nice to know what the chakras mean and everything. So the artist is obviously very, very knowledgeable about it, so I am going to read what she says, um, out of curiosity, respect, and a desire to improve myself. So, in conclusion, this is a wonderful deck. There is nothing much to complain about. I know I talked a lot about the, basically all female lean, but that doesn't affect the readings at all. So I can't, in good faith, call that a problem with the deck. And the deck so beautiful. There's obviously so much heart and so much time and blood and sweat that went into it, and I feel it's unfair to even just talk about to discourage someone from buying it just because of that, and it is ultimately very much a personal preference. So 2 thumbs up, definitely. um I've honestly never seen a deck like that, and just look at the colors. They make me so happy. They look so beautiful. Every single card, the details on the cards, oh man. And the card stock is really good. um High quality cards with high quality art, and you can see how thick the cards are from how thick this deck is. And what I do also like about it is how small the cards are. These are, I think, more closer to the traditional tarot than a lot of decks that I've seen so far, especially the recent ones where the cards are getting bigger and bigger, and it's just so much harder to shuffle. Um, while this one, I can basically hold the entire deck with one hand and shuffle it just fine. Um, Everything else is great. So definitely do consider getting this deck. And just for this deck, I might consider getting the Oracle deck. I'm not quite sure yet. Um, I don't feel like it's necessary at this point, but who knows? Sometime in the future, I might get asked or guided to buy it, or get that sudden desire to get it, and I will. So in the meantime, that's all for me for this deck. This went on for much longer than expected. Have a wonderful day, week ahead, and I will see you in the next video. So again, this is Singy from the Sanctum of the Soul, and a thank you for watching. I hope this has helped you in some way to make a decision on whether or not to get the deck. Good night. Well, it's night for me because I'm literally heading to bed now. So good day, good night to everyone.